Happy Friday. It's a glorious Friday. Hopefully, you work Monday through Friday, which means you got the weekend off and you have to work through the weekend. I hope you do have your own special weekend throughout the week. I saw this on Twitter yesterday, I think last night, maybe at work, I don't remember. But this is some really good news. Really good news, and I am going to read it. Now, I understand that the news seems to be a little bleak, whether you're listening to people like me talking about the ills or the issues coming around. It's really hard not to get lost in the weeds of negativities. And that's something I kind of noticed last night when I was watching a particular podcast. It was just these people just really just talking down on media and the state of media. And I was like, I just don't want to hear about it right now. I wanted some escapism. I wanted something a little bit more upbeat. So I turned off the podcast and watched some dude build a house out of pallets. And it did calm me down. Don't get me wrong. It did calm me down. But this is why I'm happy to give you the good news about the coral reefs. Let's go ahead and get into the news. I'm pretty sure since this is CNBC, there might be some biases going on. But parts of the Great Barrier Reef shows the highest coral cover seen in 36 years, which is awesome. 2/3 of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, recorded in the highest amount of coral covered in nearly 4 decades. Though the reef is still vulnerable to climate change and mass bleaching, the monitor group said Thursday, that's why I'm talking about the bias. We won't get into that. Australia Great Barrier Reef has suffered from widespread and severe bleaching because of rising ocean temperatures. I mean, they've been around for quite a while. I think they're used to the heat. The northern and central part of the reef has experienced some recovery, while the southern region has seen loss of coral due to crown of thorn starfish outbreaks, according to the Australia Institute of Marine Science, a government agency says. Or Australian institution, a government agency. I guess not, because I still can't read. Let's see here, even though this is just a repeat, 2/3 of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia recorded the highest amount of coral covered in nearly 4 decades, though the reef is still vulnerable to, mass bleaching, monitoring the group said Thursday. The northern and central part of the UNESCO World Heritage lists the reef to have experienced some recovery, while the southern region have seen loss of coral cover due to crown of thorn starfish outbreak, according to the report by the Australian Institute of Marine Science. The AIM CEO, Paul Hardesty, said that while the coral in the north and central regions, there's a signs of reef could recover from disturbances, loss of coral in the southern region demonstrates how we feel, or how the reef is still vulnerable to continue acute, severe disturbances that are occurring more often and longer lasting. The Great Barrier Reef has suffered from widespread severe bleaching because rising ocean temperatures. The reef was hit especially hard in 2016 and 2017 by underwater heat waves that prompted the bleaching event. This year, it's suffering the 6th mass bleaching due to heat stress caused by climate change. I mean, that could be true. Every summer, the reef is at risk of temperature stress, bleaching, and potential mortality. of our understanding how the ecosystem responds that is still developing, Hardesty said in a media release in 2020 and 2022. Bleaching events, while extensive, did not reach the intensity of 2016 and 2017 events. As a result, we have seen less mortality. These latest results demonstrate the reef can still recover in periods of free of intense disturbances. Wonder what the disturbances are. Are they the tycoons? Do they have tycoons? I know we have hurricanes, but do they have tycoons? I don't exactly know. Report comes after the UNESCO last year proposed adding the Great Barrier Reef to the list of World Heritage Sites that are in danger. A meeting to discuss the future of the reef was supposed to be held in Russia in June, but was canceled after the invasion of Ukraine. Well, probably a good call. On the center and northern region, hard coral cover reached 33% and 36% this year, respectively the highest level record in the past 36 years of monitoring. The report says, meanwhile, the region-wide hard coral cover on the reefs in the southern areas fell 34% this year, compared with 38% in the year prior. And that's the end of it. But this is really good news, and this actually highlights not really an issue close to my heart, but it is something that everybody needs to take note of. Without a healthy ocean, there cannot be a healthy earth. Because the ocean is really where we get the bulk of our breathable oxygen from. And when that dies, when there's no longer oxygen being released, we kind of need air to breathe. And we must have a healthy ocean in order to have a healthy landmass. I think they're two are related somehow. I don't know exactly how they're related, but I do know that they are related. And we should focus on looking at the dead zones that we've created and repair them one way or the other, whether it's adding a crap ton of salt which kills the flora, or overfishing in certain areas, or whatever, or just through natural pollution that gets dumped into the ocean. Looking at you, carnival ships, cruise ships, cities on the water boat, because they just kind of dump their trash out into the sea, which I highly disagree with. I think they should be fined. I don't know who would be the government party of that would be, because it's out in the ocean where there is no law. Yeah. Maybe they could be fined with the port of entry saying we expect to have this much trash. Where's that trash? If they find out that they dumped it, maybe they could do a fee of parking, because I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. Haven't exactly well thought this out, but we definitely need to take care of our oceans. We definitely need to clean our oceans from pollutions from the plastics that we're just dumping into it. Now, it's just not the United States. It's just not China. It's not just Australia or European nations. It's all of the world that's doing it. And most of the pollution does come from poorer countries that just don't have the resources or the infrastructure to properly dispose of their trash. They just dump it into the nearest river, which then flows into the ocean. And I do know there's a group out there. I think it's Save Our Seas or Save Our Oceans, which has the riverboats, their vacuums, which is doing a great service, because they're not just cleaning the trash; they're going upstream to solve those issues, to build the infrastructures, so they don't have to dump their trash in the river. But anyways, this is good news. It's always awesome to end the week with some positive, good news. And with the Great Barrier Reef showing highest coral cover seen in 36 years is good news. Now, we're not out of the water yet. Pardon the pun. We do have a lot of work to do as a world to keep it from dying or keep it from bleaching. I do know that there was a law or rule in around Australia where you can't use a certain type of sunscreen because they thought that was linked to killing the coral reef, which these are like little steps we could do to help preserve it. Now, with that being said, I will have a live show this Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time. If you're a Linux administrator, that will be Chicago time. So 5 o'clock p.m. Sunday Central Time. Now leave a comment down below what your thoughts are of this good news. Do you share my appreciation for how wonderful this news is? Let me know why. And smash the like and subscribe button on any and all platforms or just the platform that you're currently watching. But most importantly, have yourself a wonderful weekend.